Now, don't get me wrong, I was very happy with Chapter 79 for 100 Years Quest. I enjoyed it. I mentioned in my review, Yoko actually did better than I expected she was going to do, given the fact that she decided that she was going to fight the entire main cast, but I figured that that's a better, route to go down than trying to deal with Selene, just because Selene will probably kill you if you piss her off. But at the end of the chapter, that's where my most excited part ended up happening. So Natsu ends up running into Suzaku. Like, Natsu and Suzaku, like, that is the most, difficult in any form of regular conversation group, pairing that could have happened in this. I think Gray would have also been a little bit more of a quick to fight character if Suzaku does end up attacking first, or at least shows the signs of aggression. But Gray's smart enough that he would probably try and talk to Suzaku at least somewhat. Urza as well. Lucy and Wendy would... I think Lucy and Wendy absolutely would try and hard to Lucy more because she'd probably be trying not to die, and Wendy because she just wouldn't want to fight him, probably try and just reason with him. Whereas, the exact moment where Suzaku shows any form of aggression towards Natsu's crew, like he shows any form of aggression towards the main cast, or any slander towards the Fairy Tail Guild, he's going to want to fight. He's not going to have any of that. Like, he's not going to put up with anything this dude puts his way if it's negative, towards his guild. So, I'm fully expecting within the first couple pages, rather, of this chapter for a fight to break out. I think legitimately we'll have just like a couple, like a page or so of them generally just talking, like Suzaku maybe going over the situation and then mentioning about like Scullion and Mad Mole and everything, and then Natsu and him will fight. I'm expecting the next chapter to primarily be a fight between them, unless it completely appears in a different direction. I don't see it going any other way. Like, Natsu and Suzaku, their whole setups right now are immediate action cards. Like, they're going to end up throwing hands. Well, I guess in Suzaku's case, throwing sword. But, like, the thing that has my huge hype about that, not just, like, Natsu, main character, my favorite character in the series, ends up, getting a cool fight against another really cool character, but I really can't wait to see, one, Natsu's transcended magic in Elentier. I want to see what exactly he's capable of while being in Elentier. And two, we should get to see what Suzaku's dragon slaying attribute is. Like, the whole red dragon slayer has been a really weird piece since his introduction, just because, when people think of like a red dragon, they'll think of like fire and whatnot. But I don't think he could be a heat or fire-based dragon slayer, just based off of this interaction, the fact that he's going up against Natsu. Because legitimately, if he's like some form of heat or fire-based character, because I know people look at like his feathery design, his name Suzaku, meaning I think it's like vermilion, and then having the whole Phoenix like setup, the colors, he's got the Phoenix, he's got the name. It's like, okay, yeah, you can see fire in that. But if he has any form of heat or fire-based abilities, Natsu's gonna be fine. Because like, it's not shown as much, but Natsu can consume heat out of things. Like, do you remember all the way back in the beginning of the series when Lucy and Natsu went to Mount Hokobe in order to try and save Mako from a Vulcan, that one of the Vulcans, like the main one that Natsu fought, ended up taking Taurus's axe. Natsu caught it at one point and then melted part of it, had some of the metal come in his mouth, and then he pretty much consumed it, so instead of molten steel, it came out just as like a metal ball. He ate the heat off of it. So it's like, even if Suzaku just has a heated sword, all Natsu has to do is pretty much stop the slash, and then he can just, consume the power that is, tied to it. Especially, like, that would actually be a lot more dangerous, because now we know that Natsu maintains fire, and I would assume other heat-based abilities from dragons. So, like, if Suzaku, say, like, is a fire or heat-based dragon slayer, then all he's going to do is make Natsu more powerful, not just from a temporary boost, but probably like a permanent trait into his dragon fire. So I don't really see that being a possibility. I know, like, again, the obvious reasons why it could be, but at the same time, I don't think it could be just based off of him going against Natsu first, and like how much an advantage Natsu would have if he was up against, like, a heat or fire based character. My prediction is still blood going on with Suzaku. I think blood would be really cool. Just, I mean, we don't really have much for blood wizards in Fairy Tail. Having a blood dragon would be super sick, especially as this badass dragon slayer vagabond with this nasty, like, badass looking dragon sword. I can't wait to see the blade. I'm hoping the blade is a little bit different than just like a normal katana blade. I'm hoping it maybe has like a design on it. Like maybe it would look one solid color without that no, that line, I don't remember what it's called on the blade where it's like black on the back end, where I think it's where it's part where it's folded, like a tempered line. I don't remember. Well, I don't know exactly, because obviously I'm not a katana craftsman or a super sword knowledge dude. But like maybe just like a one pure design one, and then it has dragon scale patterns along the blade, something like that. That would be pretty sick. But until we get more from Suzaku, that's gonna be part of the mystery about his character right now, because like we don't need to know his backstory like immediately. We don't need to know all the specifics and fine details of his character, but I mentioned like many times, like knowing a character's name and knowing their powers is something that can hold you over for a long time in just like kind of conversation and thoughts about the characters themselves. So I will be really excited, just in general, when we start to, when the next chapter rolls around, and then, I buy it, and then click, read chapter, and then we see, hopefully, what exactly Suzaku's dragon attribute is. Again, I'm really hoping blood. I've mentioned a couple other ideas, like, if it's somewhere like a red mage, like, maybe he just has, like, some offensive base dragon attribute, but he also is, like, a really good healer, or, knows some support spells as well. That's just a matter, of waiting whatever Machine wants to do, because I know white magic and white mages usually are very healer-based classes. Sting is a white dragon slayer. He's not a healer-based character. He doesn't even have healing spells. The only one is Sky Magic. It seems to be the only one that can actually heal a character. So I'd assume if it is blood, I could see if it is blood or something like that, or if it is like a red mage closer to like the traditional red mage, and he can heal. But I'm still hoping for the idea of blood, or if Machine wants to do something even weirder. I don't really know what he would have in mind, but something more along those lines. So I think just the general like idea that I have in the next chapter is that it's going to be a combat-based chapter, and it's going to be very shortly into it, and we're probably gonna get them clashing, and then he's gonna end up pulling out his sword, and then we'll see like him use a technique, and then Natsu being like trying to figure it out, and then like see like a good full panel of Suzaku with his sword out and just looking like a badass. I can't wait. But anyway, other than that, comment below, tell me your thoughts about what exactly you think is going to go on next chapter. What are you most hyped about? And realistically, like how long into a conversation do you actually think that Natsu and Suzaku will go without fighting? Because again, the moment he shows some form of aggression towards the Fairy Tail Guild, Natsu's going to be on combat mode. He's going to immediately go from like, comfy, smiley, pretty, probably normal Natsu to scowls and glares and being like, oh, are we going to do this? We're going to fight? Keep talking, we'll see what happens. Kind of like Natsu. But anyway, other than that, comment below, thumbs up the video, from the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But other than that, appreciate everyone's already subscribed. Thank you all for listening.